Evening, Emma. Sorry I'm late, guys. Paul, evening, brother. Victoria. Sorry I'm late. I've had a few problems with the internet, as you do. But I'm here now anyway. Evening, Desert. Sorry, mate. I forgot that I'd had a new router, and I was trying to log in, and I couldn't understand for me why it wasn't connected to the Wi-Fi. And then I just realised that I had a new router on Monday, so I've had to put a new password in. That's all it was. Sydney time. Yeah, that's it. That's it. You're right. Evening, AJ. And I don't know. It's one of them things, I suppose. But anyway, we're here. We're here. That's the main thing. So I might as well start cracking on. Other people will join as we go. I don't know whether to try and go live on Facebook as well, actually. Although we hadn't better do. Evening, Lorraine. Yeah, basically, as you can see, we've been attacked again by Andy and John. I don't know where these guys get off with what they're saying, because we are not, I'll tell you it again, Andy, and you, John, we are not paid opposition. We are not trolls. We are not Hoaxted. I didn't even know what Hoaxted was until you guys introduced me to it. I've still not seen those videos, and I still would never, ever look at those videos. And I'll do any lie detector test you want to prove I haven't seen them. So to call me Hoaxted is 1,000% wrong. I've never ever seen them videos in my life, and I don't want to. After what I've heard, I don't want to see them. And as for the guys, evening, Rick, how are you, brother? Yeah. Where was I? Yeah, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have even knew about Hoaxted. Didn't even know what it was. And as far as I know, the guys on YouTube are just concerned citizens. Wavy, Sparkle, Mayfair, Danny, Mickey the Mouse, all these people, AJ, they're all just concerned citizens, just like we are. So where have you got the Hoaxted from? I'd like you to show me some proof that these people are what they are, because I haven't seen any other than concerned citizens, like I said. That's all I see. And as for your life's in danger, Andy, your life's not in danger, Andy. We've never, ever once threatened you. Not once. Yet, from your side, you are, I know, to at least 2 or 3 writs of execution on myself, Rick, Nathan, Davey, Emma, Simon Bean, Dean Cumberbatch, at least 3. And then also, we never talk about hanging people from lampposts, Andy. That's you. So again, people keep getting, you put a narrative out as if it's us, and yet we never say any of those things. The only people who say them things are yourselves. Do you know what I mean? Like with John's writ of truth, affidavit of truth. Fucked up in the first line. The Republic of Great Britain. We're not a republic, never will be a republic. We are a constitutional monarchy. That's what we are in this country. So that was his affidavit of truth out the window straight away, because he's telling lies in the first sentence. And we've got all these bits of execution and this, that, and the other, and with all this, with all that. I've heard you was on. See, I don't watch your videos, Andy. That's why I don't go long-winded into them, because I don't watch them. I only get told what people tell me, messages, etc. You've been talking about us again. You've said this. You've said that. But watch your videos now. I can't, because they're too long-winded to go on for 2 or 3 hours. And Simon Bean did do his own diligence, as you call it. And we didn't do anything other than say to him, here's the proof, go watch the videos. And he watched hours and hours and hours of your videos and John's videos. The words that put him off your business, etc., came out of your own mouths, not our mouths, out of your mouths. Just like they do for everybody else. Eventually, you say things and you contradict yourself. We've never ever contradicted ourselves, because we only talk about the things. You're telling people things now that we were saying 2 or 3 years ago. The Lisbon Treaty, the Maastricht Treaty, Barcelona Declaration, that the Queen's corrupt. We already know all this. We know our government's corrupt. We've been trying since 2016 to get people into lawful rebellion to sort the problem out. And yet we get called government trolls by you. You couldn't make the shit up. I'm just a working class guy like everybody else out there. I work 10 hours a day. And then I try and look after the people of this country in my spare time. That's what I do, Andy. I've not don't hold any position. And like you said, Nathan was Facebook. Nathan, well, you didn't, sorry, it was Dave Witcher. Sorry, Andy, it wasn't you. But Dave Witcher said, Nathan must be Facebook. He must work for Facebook. Security, etc. Because he's unblocked himself. Well, I wish he'd unblock me, because that's why I'm on here. Because I can't go live on my page, my main page. I've got it back. I can comment, I can share, but it will not let me go live on my main profile. That's Facebook. So you're not the only one who's blocked from going live on Facebook. It's not just you guys, Andy. We get the same problems. So, you know, before you do anything, yes, massive respect to Simon, Rick. I mean, John was talking about the other day, he was talking about sovereign decrees, this, that, and the other. If John's done a sovereign decree, maybe that's why he's lost his pension. Because that's the other thing I said to Dave Richard. Sovereign decrees can work for you if you're solvent and you don't need the system. But if you're working class and you work from week to week with your payments, and you could, you know, lose your job tomorrow and be dependent on the system, sovereign decrees are no good for you, because it takes you out of that system. Well, it doesn't, and it does. The dole and people like that who are paying the money out, they'll gladly take it off their system so you don't get no more money. But then the police will still pull you over for this, that, and the other. So you're sort of in and out at the same time with sovereign decrees. They'll take you out of the money side of it, but they won't let you release you from, you know, if you go through a speeding camera, etc. side of it. So Dave Witcher is selling you the wrong information in that respect. They do work if you're solvent, millionaire, etc., etc. Of course they work, because you never need the system, do you? But it's entirely up to people what they believe. And the same as with all this, with the flag. Andy's very, very upset. Evening, Wyvern. Andy's very upset at the moment, and so is John with us. And you're right, we're not going to go away, because we just put the truth out. But one thing we won't do is threaten people with their lives, go and threaten to hang people from lampposts just because they've got a different opinion and want to follow you. And just because the vets won't come on side, you're calling us to pieces and telling the vets you should be going having a word with these people, and when the vets catch up with you, and this, that, and the other. Well, if the vets want to come and catch up with me just for trying to protect them, so be it. But I'll tell you one thing, if they follow you and get caught up in it all, they'll wish they had listened to the likes of me and Rick and Nathan, because we are genuinely trying to protect them. You don't care. As long as you get 25 quid off them and you lead them down the garden path into treason, you ain't bothered, along with other patriots, or so-called patriots, who are going down the same route. If you love this country and our vets, you wouldn't be taking them down that route. You'd know you'd have to wait for everybody to be in lawful rebellion and do it properly, not storming and get everybody shot and arrested and etc. etc. Not the way forward, guys. But if you want to go that way, you go that way. You'll see who was right in the end, as always. We've never been wrong in anything we've done, because we don't put facts out until we're 100% sure. Yeah, it does. Well, maybe I hope it is them that need to worry about the vets, because I'm telling you now, 1 minute the vets are all the scumbag mongrels under the sun, and then the next thing is capping hands to the vets. And then they're all mongrels, when they don't come round, they're all mongrels and that again. We've never treated our vets like that. We've been trying to get the vets on site for over 3 years, but we've never dissed the names. We've never called them to pieces, because it's their choice. All we can do is keep educating them and keep trying to get them on side, and hopefully they'll learn that is the way to go and do it the correct way. If they don't, or if they want to go Andy's way, the majority of them, let them go. But I'm telling you now that they'll wish they hadn't of, because unlike the general public, the vets have took oaths, and that will be classed, one, I would imagine it's high treason, not just treason, because you took oaths. But if you go into lawful rebellion and do it, you've got a duty and a right to do it. But by doing it the way they're doing it, you're just domestic terrorists, and it's an act of aggression, it's an act of war. But crack on if that's what you want to do. Yes, it is live, Sue. Managed team custody. Yeah, the Sparks are going to be exposing us all. Well, let them expose me. They can expose me for what they like. They won't have a lot. Because all I ever do is go to work and come home and sit in the house. That's all I ever do. In this day and age, you ain't got the money to do anything else, because that's what the government, this is why we try to get people into lawful rebellion, because you've got no life in this time at the moment. You just work, sleep, unless you're getting money from somewhere else, as I say. It's tall cheese. Yeah, you know, so at the end of the day, people will, as Andy says, live or die on their own swords. But there's no way we'll ever go in the way. I'm telling you that now, ladies and gentlemen. Not in a million years. We will be here, and we will stay, and we will keep putting the truth out. You know? So you haven't got any worries from our end of it, Andy. Nobody's coming over to do anything, unless you're on about somebody else. But that's got nothing to do with us, because we don't do things like that. I'd say the people have got more worries about you and your North Korea type of dictatorship that you want to bring to this country. Whereas speak out, hung from the nearest lamppost. Well, that's great. And I can't see many people, if you put it to them in that way, would want to be under a regime like that. Unless they're crazy. Mind you, some people must be crazy to fall for it all, because you've only got to look at it. Like I said, go do your research, ladies and gentlemen. In 2013, it was the same flag, a different name. It wasn't William IV, it was King George. Go look it up on YouTube. Different business to what it is now. I can't remember what the business was, because I wasn't interested in the business. It's just a flag. I don't know much about the business now, other than I know you don't do buy one get one free shares. No company does. I know if you've got a company, you should always be able to give a year projection of your first year. You should also, if you've got a case, be able to put the case number forward, not a complimentary slip. And that's all that John did. He was told 3 times, you've not got a case. You've not got a case. You've not got a case. All right, then, bang, there you go. There's a complimentary slip. Now can you leave? That's basically what happened. And then John went, yeah, look, it's all been authenticated. No, it hasn't, John. You had a complimentary slip. And all your laws of the land and this and that, you've already admitted it, John. They're all written up by you. But anyway, if you want to ring in, AJ, I'll stick it on speaker, mate, so other people can hear, because I know you want to say a few things. So if you want to ring in, kid, feel more welcome to. And I'll stick it on. Hello.
Evening, mate.
Evening, AJ. Hopefully, people. Can you hear him, Rick? Just say yes if you can hear him. Yeah, I'm just making sure they can hear you, mate. Oh, yes, they can.
Just 1 sec, I'm struggling here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now, yes.
Alright. Well, to be honest with you, Krusty and their crew are a bit off their heads. Like, has anyone moved? Taking his meds. His doctors actually advised him that it could be a life-threatening thing, him not taking his meds.
Yeah, well, I've heard he's not taking his meds, and like I said to him, I don't bear them any malice. Other than what they're doing, conning people.
It's the vulnerable people that they're attacking, and going after the vets is where they've caused their issues. If they weren't trying to scam people with these shares, which is £25 a share, buy one get one free, use your mobile phone as identity, and pay by donation. Now, anyone that knows anything about shares and donations, they would know that shares and donations are 2 completely separate things.
Exactly.
Right? And there's your scam, right? When Krusty asks, what's the scam? Now, the flag thing, that's also a scam. The flag itself is real, but what they're doing with the flag is a scam, because they're using it to sell their shares.
Yeah.
Sorry, my dog's attacking me at the moment.
It's like we've said, AJ. But don't even, and like Wavy's just put it in there, they can't even get past the first question. Where is your reference number for your case?
Well, the thing is, they made the mistake of filming themselves going into the High Court in London, and the paperwork, the documentation that they say is their case, which really and truly is nothing more than a scrapbook that Krusty's put together himself. The stamps that make it look like it's all authentic, he's had made himself, and he's been stamping these documents and making them up himself, which could be considered as fraudulent documents.
Yeah.
Right? So he went into the court, and it was clear as day. The bloke at the reception in the court said that they wouldn't be taking them in because it's not attached to a case. So there is no case number.
Exactly. And without a case number, you haven't got a case. So, but carry on, mate.
And then they went on to, in that same video, put in a compliment slip, which they were given this compliment slip. The reception bloke gave them the compliment slip and stamped it and gave it to them, like, purely to get rid of them. I honestly believe the bloke in the reception must have thought that it was a day visit from the local mental home.
Yeah, well, you know,
it's the only thing that would come across my mind if someone came in trying to do something like that.
Yeah, and then it was the fact that everybody saw it was a complimentary slip, and this is what he doesn't get. What you've said there, just they made the mistake of actually, if they hadn't have filmed it, then maybe he would have got away with it. But everybody saw it was just a complimentary. And then he was trying to say, yeah, look, there's the paperwork, here's the authentication, it's all been authenticated, and it hadn't.
It was clearly not taken in. The bloke didn't even read the document.
No.
So to say that it's a case, it clearly isn't the case. And then if you actually watch the first of their airport Costa courts, you'll find that you couldn't even consider it as a court. But it's a case of it's that short. I'll put together a few videos. It's video 8 of the Krusty Crew on YouTube, where it's got the whole thing put together, right away from the visit to the Royal Courts of Justice in London, and then court case, that supposed court case number 1, and the supposed court case number 2, both of which were completely and utterly a sham. And he actually openly admits in the second one when his partner rings that he's doing a video. So surely if it's a court case, you would say that it's a case that you're doing. You wouldn't say that you're doing a video.
Well, all I saw with the court, with this court case, was everybody sitting around on the grass. Well, the one I saw, I've only seen the one. It was all sitting in Hyde Park on the grass. And he's panning around, there's all going, hello, hi, how you doing? There's Jamie, there's so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. And then the next thing, we're going to close this court case. I thought, well, I haven't heard any minutes, nothing.
It's a case of, to be honest, it's all a show to bring in money and pull people in. They're literally going into all the vulnerable groups in the likes of Facebook and on all these social networks. Anyone that's vulnerable,
all angry
with the system,
all angry.
They target.
Anybody who's vulnerable or angry.
It's literally a case, and John Winoa, which isn't his actual name, I struggle to pronounce his actual name. It's Hanoi something or another. Winoa, but he's got a long history of this. He's actually been incarcerated in the past for doing pretty much the exact same thing as what he's doing now in New Zealand, but he was using a different story back then.
Well, he says he's very high up and good at what's the word? He says himself. He's good at property development and property this and property that.
He got struck off many years ago. It was 97. Back in 97, he got struck off from what was it?
He lost his license.
Yeah, so I can't remember the real estate license or something like that.
That's the one.
He got struck off from it.
Yeah, if people only could see the truth, but they don't look that far, they just believe all the BS. They keep saying we speak BS. Nobody speaks more BS than they do. I mean, look at that one round St Patrick's grave. When they was doing I don't know whether that was a court or a ritual or whatever, but there was round there, and they was told to take the flag off. Now, if that flag was all empowering, like they say it is, they wouldn't have been allowed to tell them to take it off.
Means nothing anymore. It's a thing of the past that was given to be used on ships for protection. It showed the protection of the British Navy against any foreign pirates who decided that they wanted to steal from the ship. It was put there to protect as protection. Yeah. And that was the only reason it was ever used. It's something it's a thing from history. There's many other flags that have been around in the past that was used many years ago that are also no longer being used today. Right? The king that he's been on about, this Augustus.
King Augustus of Hanover.
Died many years ago. Something like 160 years ago?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. This is what I'm saying. They don't realise that people, and he didn't have any ancestors either to leave. He didn't have any children.
Well, it's literally a case of what he's doing is he goes and once someone picks out that he's wrong with one subject, he'll change the subject slightly. He'll bring a slightly different angle into it to try and make it basically more complicated, so people are less likely to actually research what's going on.
Well, like you said, we called this flag a scam, a scam on the land, the flag, and then he's gone. But they will not call it a scam now as an admiralty. We've never said it wasn't an admiralty flag. We've always agreed it was an admiralty flag, but it was just.
I would say the idea of it being a land flag is a scam because it's not. It's an admiralty flag. You can't have admiralty and land in the same thing. It's two completely separate things.
No, but this is what I'm saying, AJ. He said, if you heard him on his last one, somebody told me that he admitted basically, well, okay, you've called it a land scam, but now refute it as being an admiralty flag, a flag of the sea. Well, we've never said it wasn't a flag of the sea. So we've always agreed with him on that one, that it's an admiralty flag, but it's not what he's claimed it to be. It was just a flag that was given to the New Zealand Maoris to stop them having the cargo taken from the pirates.
When he talks about this whole king thing with the king's laws and stuff like that and the king's bench, now to have a king's bench we need to have a reigning king. At the moment we have a reigning queen, so we have what's known as Queen's Bench.
Yes.
It's a case of they also neglect to realise everything is passed down, they inherit it. Right, so when he says that the Queen has no right to this, the Queen has no right to that, in actual fact he's completely and utterly wrong. Right, I can't say that I fully support our Queen because there's a lot of issues, particularly when it comes to royal assent that's been given to a particular act back in 1972, right, which actually contradicts the coronation oath.
Yeah.
So it's a case of I can't say I fully support the Queen, but at the same time I do not support the idea of chopping the Queen up and stuff like that. That is completely unacceptable. And then to turn around and say anyone that goes against his narrative must be strung up or shot.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that isn't the sort of individual that anyone should be looking up to or wanting anything to do with, to be honest with you.
That's Nazi Germany 1936 all over again, that is.
It is complete and utter absurdness. He talks about the Lunacy Act. Quite frankly, the Lunacy Act, when he talks about that, it could actually be used against himself. Right, in the manner and the way he's acting himself, it could come under that. But it literally is a case of, I honestly believe too many people have drawn themselves towards him and they go in there for comfort because these people are promising people their kids back. Now, anyone with anything in the way of half a brain will know that you can never make promises like that because there's no guarantees on anything when it comes to situations like that.
No. And was it you who told me that he's going to order the Muslims to chop all our heads off and shoot us?
I've got footage of him saying that he'll order the Muslims to chop all our heads off. I've got footage of him saying that he's willing to throw the likes of Simon Bean, myself, you, and a few others out in front of the motorbikes, basically wanting us to get up and run over by the bikers. So
it's shocking behaviour. It's shocking.
It's beyond the joke. I do have to apologise a bit though because it's a case of quite often when they're talking, when they're ranting on, it's me that they're actually ranting on, but for some reason they can't get it through to their thick skulls that my name's AJ. Right, the other day when he was going on about pressing buttons, that's me. I've been pressing the smiley face for days due to the fact that in between pressing those buttons, I've been pressing the go live. And I've been pressing that go live button now for months and months on and off.
Yeah, see.
Right? And they go on about that they're open and willing to speak to anyone and everyone. But that's absolute nonsense. If they know that you're going to challenge their narrative, they will not speak to you. They will run from you.
Yeah.
It's a case of everything that's actually being said. There is video footage to prove it, to back up everything that's being said. I'm a little bit concerned about this here policeman that John, that Noah seems to think that he's supposed to be working with. He's saying that it's CIB. Now, that's incorrect because this officer is a narcotics officer who's spent pretty much his whole career working in the narcotics. He helped design a harness for the police dogs. So it's a case of it's a completely different part of the police force. I would honestly say that they're probably sent him out to speak with Winoa because of the way Winoa's demeanour, like, and the way he acts. A narcotics officer will be used to being around people that are reacting in a similar way to what Winoa.
Yeah, but don't forget he wants to rip up all the pine trees that are damaging the water and replace them with ganja trees.
Yeah, well, he's not only said that on a live video yesterday or the day before, he's been posting on a few social networks stuff about cannabis. And it's a case of what Andy seems to be doing is deflective tactics. He'll try and steer towards a different subject, probably David Noakes' subject, where Andy, there's a few of them actually. There's Andy, that tin hat girl, and Rhea something or another. And there's a few others that I can't bring to my head at the moment, but they're going around saying that there's a cure for cancer. Now, anyone that's actually done any real research into cancer would realise that there is no cure to cancer due to the fact that we are born with cancer cells in our body. To cure cancer, they would have to remove all the cancer cells in the body, which would kill the individual. Now, the best case scenario you can get with cancer is you can put it back into a dormant state. That is the best case you can get. And then you still cannot say that it's cured, because there's still the possibility it could become reactive and you could still die from cancer.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just, you can go back into remission, and that's.
This is why the Cancer Act was brought in to start with. It was due to the fact that people were profiting from selling false hope.
Yeah. Although, having said that, there are things that do work, and that do. You see people who only had 3 months to live, and they do certain things, and then there's no trace of it, and so there are things out there, not like you say, not cured it, but put it back to where it was before.
This GC math that David Noakes talks about. Now, I haven't really done much research into it. I do believe there's potential there, because he's actually, from what I've seen, there's actually been results from it and stuff like that, where people have had longer lifespan from it. Yeah. But in a video that David Noakes did himself, which I do have the recording of, David Noakes admits himself that when his patients could no longer get hold of the GC-MAP, they died shortly afterwards. Now, if GC-MAP was the cure, they wouldn't have died shortly after not being able to take it.
Yeah. But having said that, I've known people who've took the others. I'm not going to mention them, obviously, but took other things.
Cannabis is actually, we have what's known as cannabinoid receptors in the body. Cannabis can be very helpful. It's the CBD more so than the THC that's the beneficial part of it. And it can help with many things. But then there's a lot of other natural substances out there that can help, that are far more beneficial to the human body than what chemicals are. Yes, there's big issues with them. our pharmaceutical companies in this country, well, worldwide, to be honest with you. A lot of medication is actually placebos. So a lot of stuff you're taking it, and it's the effect of, because you're taking a tablet and you think that tablet's doing something, you get the effect of it doing something.
Yeah. Well, that's been proven, because they did an experiment with people where they give them, like, you know, the giant Smarties and that. They give them one of them as if there was pills. And you said, yeah, you got to take one of these, and they just, instead of biting it, like to taste the chocolate, they just put it in the mouth, took water with it and swallowed it, and they give them another 5 or 6, and all there was Smarties. Take, you know, 1-4 times a day, and they went back 2 days later, said, oh, I feel much better. So that is proven that it's mind over matter with things, some of it. Like we do, you know, but a lot of the things, it is genuine, but they shouldn't be pushing it all on you, because it's all big pharma and it's all about making money. That's all it is.
Well, it's all about making money, full stop, when it comes to the system. Well, I don't know, well, a lot of people should already know this, but a lot of our NHS services are being privatised, and they're outsourcing the work to private hospitals, which is actually costing a lot more money than what it would do if they just employed the staff like they used to and kept it inside the NHS hospitals.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, to the point where I had what was it, seven appointments and something like 15 letters to have 3 teeth removed. Right. I'm sure those letters will be sort of like, I don't know, 25 to 50 quid each letter.
Yeah.
And then the appointments, I don't know, 50 to £100 per appointment. They all builds up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. It's unnecessary waste of expenditure, and then people wonder why we can't afford the NHS, why we can't afford certain things. It's because the government are chucking money away left, right and centre. To be honest with you, the fiat currency itself is the problem for the actual tax issue that we have. It's set up that the banks are private entities that create money and loan it to government with interest added, which is the fiat currency, basically. This interest added is never created, right, but it's expected to be paid back. If it's not created, how can you pay it back? Right? Exactly. Hence why we have the national debit, which back in 2008 we were actually 14 times into bankruptcy, and it's more than doubled since then.
Well, it will do, because once you get to a certain point with interest, it gets impossible to pay off.
Well, we're barely struggling. Well, I say we're barely. It was back in 2008 we were barely covering the interest on the interest.
That's what I'm saying. The farther it goes, the more deeper you get, and it becomes virtually impossible. You'll never get out of debt, and that's why every so often they crash them. They have to, and start again.
2008, the crash was dealt with something that's called fractional reserve banking. Quantitative easing. Sorry, we got that wrong there. There's quantitative easing that they dealt with it via. And what quantitative easing is, basically, it's just letting more cash flow into the system. They do this by typing more digits into the computer system. So, quite literally, they've created the extra cash flow into the system by typing some digits in on a computer. Yeah.
It's easy to do with digits. You can change digits here and there as much as you want. But anyway, going back to Andy and John, I mean, you've only got to look like the guys on here. You've got Wavy, you've got Angie.
Wavy, I like Wavy's videos. Yeah. I've seen a lady named Angela Disney Power.
Angie Daisy Power, as on here now.
I'm taking it that's not the actual
no,
Disney Power. I'm guessing it's the lady who's been doing some videos that have actually had me in stitches last week.
Yes, it is. But anyway, you've got these on here now, right? You've got all them on here now. And you've got Danny Jones, Mike Dice, Mayfair, Michael and the Mouse family and all that. Just genuine concerned citizens, just like we are. But they've all been called Oxted trolls and this, that, and the other, and Satanist, baby eating, whatever.
The thing is, they're labelling everyone, Andy and Klein and them lot. They're labelling everyone as being part of this, part of that, part of something else. Now, I've never looked into Hoaxted one bit. It's not something that I have any interest in wanting to look into it. Yes, I agree that there was problems there, but I've never looked into it, so it's not my place to give a real opinion on it.
Yeah.
There's obviously got to have been some sort of problem for it to have occurred.
Yeah.
The Pendragon thing that they keep bringing up, I've never been a part of the Pendragon.
No.
I'm actually not a part of any group or anything. It's a case of I'm acting on my own behalf. I'm sick and tired of seeing scam artists that are pulling apart vulnerable people. And when I was left a long trail of people that he has destroyed over the years, and the more I'm looking into Andy, it seems to be that there's also quite a trail behind him.
Yeah. You see,
and then they're on Company House, they've got a Matt Taylor. Matt Taylor's actually been arrested for indecent images. Right, then there's another female in amongst it. I don't really want to say the name because of what she's admitted to online. Child abuse to her own kids with
MMS.
It's some chemical substance that isn't actually being granted use and being licensed.
But to hear them talk, we're the ones who are doing all that. We're satanic, we're this, we're that. And when you look at it in the bigger picture, it's not us, it's them that are doing all this, promoting videos that are banned. I've never seen these videos and I don't want to see them.
Well, when they talk about Masonic and stuff and all that sort of stuff, where's John actually claiming that his information has come from? Freemasons.
Well, if you look at it, that's quite ironic because King William IV was a master mason and he had his own lodge. And he was actually, like I said, the master mason of that lodge. So he was into all that shit because he was a Freemason. And yet that's the man who they all follow, and worship, who was a Mason. None of us are Masons. None of us have been anywhere near any of that shit. Never would. Just working class people.
It is everyone that you look at that's surrounding them. There seems to be issues with. There's one that I haven't really watched much of this, but I've seen a couple of the feeds he's done with Andy. There's a bloke that I call Woody the Wood Chipper.
Yeah,
I'm sure you can work out who that is by just the name.
Yeah, JP.
Yeah. It's a case of Andy's there saying that everything he's doing is correct and right and all this, that and the other. And then he allows people to come on and talk about chopping people up.
That's what makes me laugh. Everything that he says is correct, is true and correct. But everything everybody else says is bullshit, as if only his word matters, only his word is correct. You can't have another opinion that you might be correct in your... Don't forget, it's only your opinion that you're correct, Andy. We don't think you are correct.
Well, it is literally a case of you are not allowed to have an opinion when it comes to Andy and them. It's quite literally, you want to ask him a question. I've got recordings of me trying to ask questions, and I put one comment in on Andy's Facebook. This was before he decided to block me because I was asking questions that he didn't want to answer. But one comment instantly kicked off the feed. Yeah,
well, you will do because they don't like questions. Like I said, the minute you go on, like they want the vets to go on, we'll give the vets plenty of questions to ask them. And what they should be doing with the vets is what we'll do if people want to talk to us. We'll do it live.
They couldn't actually ever gain the support of the vets because they're going against the Queen, and all the vets have signed an oath of allegiance to the Queen. So them trying to pull them to go against the Queen would be putting the vets in a position where they would be literally committing treason.
Well, it's high treason for the vets.
Well, I would class high treason as if they were to commit the act of killing them.
Yeah.
That's where I would draw the line for the high treason.
No, I'm saying it could possibly.
Of treason, I don't know it enough to be able to class it as being like.
No, what I'm saying is it's treason, but if they actually pulled it off, it would be high treason, which is a lot higher.
John Winoa wants it would definitely be high treason, but just going against the Queen would be treason.
Yeah, be going against your oath. Whereas lawful rebellion, you're more or less telling them you realise the situation, the government is tyrannous and corrupt, and unless they come back into line under the roads, etc., you will be withdrawing your taxes and doing other things. You can quite do.
Lawful rebellion means that you are allowed to not pay any taxes and distress the government,
yes,
and the state by any means that's lawful.
Yes.
That doesn't mean that when people hear the words lawful rebellion and they think they can go out and it gives them a free pass on breaking the law.
No.
It doesn't at all.
You've still got to do it lawful and without loss, harm, injury or fraud.
Basically.
Yes.
Like the stopping funding, because if the government's acting treasonous, but not treasonous, sorry, it could be said that anyway because of the 1972 Act, but the government that's acting tyrannous, you have the lawful right according to the Charter 61 of the Magna Carta.
Well, it's
and it was put there as a clause to deal with tyrannous governments.
It's actually your duty.
Yeah, you are commanded to. It states it in the wording. You are commanded to. It's your obligation by law.
Yes.
Once you know about it, you are actually obligated to do it.
Because if you do nothing about it, you are classed as conspiring and complicit in the tyranny.
But a lot of people whinge on about lawful rebellion, say it don't work, this, here, that, or the other. Now, for anything to work, you need the numbers behind it.
Of course you do.
And when it comes to putting the government back in its place and getting them to start acting, lawful rebellion is the best way of doing it, because you're remaining honourable, and at the same time you're putting pressure on that government, because you're not complying with everything they say. You're doing everything to distress them, but at the same time remaining lawful.
You see, John now says, what was he said the other day? People say John's never said he's a surrogate king. No, John's never said he's anything. He doesn't want to be the surrogate king. But then on the next breath, John's telling you himself, he's already got his government sorted out. He's already written up all the new laws. So why is he doing all that if it's going to have nothing to do with him?
He has actually said time and time again that he's a king.
Now, I mean, the people who follow him say John's never said that, but he has said it.
He has said it because I've got video footage of him saying it. And I've also got video footage on 2 occasions of him saying that he's the king of the papers. One of which was in a video that I did with him a long time ago, which was a live feed. Pendragon's Den, it's on the video. It's with, basically, it's John Winoa with a load of comments from me that I was asking him stuff, and he just was ignoring pretty much everything in it. Although I sort of like sparked a nerve at the end with him because he said about Sharia law. Sharia law is the same word pronounced twice. In 2 different languages. Law and Sharia means the same thing.
Yeah, it's law, Sharia law in English, law.
So that really triggered him. Another thing that triggers him is he talks about knowing contract law all the time, yet he doesn't actually know the basics of contract law. Right? It's a case of a contract is a mutual agreement between 2 or more parties. Every party involved in that contract has to be consenting to it. Now, these writs that he's putting up, or affidavits that he's going around saying, that they are also seen, the way he's writing them up, they could be seen as contracts. Yeah. Now, the problem with it is they're void because not both parties have consented to it.
Exactly. I mean, the problem what John's got as well is exactly that he doesn't like when anybody disagrees with him. You know, you've got to go. And it just life isn't like that. People should be allowed opinion. I mean, imagine if he did take over this country. Just God forbid he ever did. But just imagine he did. It'd be worse than North Korea.
I would actually be willing to up and move to North Korea.
Yeah.
I really would be willing to move to North Korea if he became in charge of this country. To be honest with you, there's no possibility of that ever happening. He will never be able. It'll be nothing more than basically an old man that's losing his marbles. That's pretty much what he is.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But the thing is, and Andy's now better. I mean, Andy knows that all this is bullshit. He's got to do.
He's known for a long time. I don't know if you saw the video of Andy asking John about the shares. Someone put a comment in and asking if they could pay in instalments, £5 instalments. Now, John lost his marbles, absolutely went mental at home, and ended his life with Andy because of it. So if that doesn't tell you it's all about the shares, I don't know what will, to be honest, although there's enough out there to be able to actually see that it's all about the money. It's the way that Andy's been going on recently over the veterans and the fact that the veterans are seeing through their nonsense, right? It's 1 minute he's slagging them off, next minute he's trying to fire them up and be nice again. Now, the only reason he's changing his attitude from one thing to another is he's angry because he knows that he's losing out on money that he thought that he could scam out of people, and then he's trying to butter them up again to see if there's any possibility of drawing some more people into his column.
I mean, you think about it, AJ, it's a lot of money, 100 million.
Well, it's quite a large amount that he wants.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? £25 off 4.5 million vets, £100 million. I mean, when you think you've got that coming and then all of a sudden it's stopped, I would imagine you are going to be pissed off. Now, the difference with us, like I've always said, is people attack us all the time and he's saying we're all wrong-uns and that. Well, how are we wrong-uns when everything that we do for free? So how are we wrong-uns when he's asking 25 quid?
The way that they go on about it's completely backwards, because it's a case of they're the ones chasing. What have we got to gain out of what we're doing?
Nothing, because we don't charge anything.
What have we got to gain other than the protection of other innocent people around the country? We're not asking for anything out of anyone. We're just showing the facts of what's going wrong and what they're doing that isn't right. People need to realise that they're going after the vulnerable, and that's because they want the easiest targets to break for the money out of. At the same time, they're giving this illusion that they're going to have their own government, a new government, this, that, and the other with it, and it's not the case. Like, what they're wanting is far worse than what we've already got. We don't want to. It's no good replacing one issue with an issue that's even worse.
Exactly, but you're going to change something. You want to change it for the better, not going to something that's even worse than what you've already got.
It's a bit like I don't like bringing this up, but it's a bit like this here Brexit and the WTO. Everyone goes on about WTO. Now, WTO isn't really any better than what we're already being kept in by the government. WTO is already what's it called? It's already an institution that's basically on the same tracks as towards the New World Order as what the EU is, but it's via a different route. Now, yes, we should come out. Yes, maybe go WTO until we can make our own deals with each individual country. That's the way. That's what people should be looking for.
Yeah.
Because this here, entering into agreements where we hand over powers to a foreign nation is a violation of our constitution. We are not to be governed by any foreign power unless lost through war.
Yeah.
Right. It's been that way since 1215. That's when it was written. Right. And it's a case of, for anyone to think it's acceptable for a foreign nation that we have no say over to tell us what we can and can't do is madness. It's a bit like what Krusty wants. Right? He wants us to hand over power to him. He's foreign. He's not English. He's got no actual British or UK bloodline to say in him. Right? He says that he has family members that are Irish. Right, so Ireland's not England. Northern Ireland's part of the UK, yes, but
for anybody who doesn't think that it works as well, you've only got to look at Henry III. Henry III come on into reign. Like King John signed it, and I think Henry III was King John's grandson, and he wanted to do all these wars and this, that, and the other. But he couldn't force the barons to give him any money because under the Magna Carta they hadn't got it. And he caused a hell of a lot of problems. You go and look at the research of King Henry III, and that's what basically brought him down, because he couldn't get the barons to agree to keep funding all the wars he wanted to go and fight. Because under the Magna Carta, there wasn't obliged to.
To be honest with you, when it comes to wars, I can't see anything good in any war.
No.
The only time we have anything good out of conflict is when it's civil conflict. And then 1688 to 1689 was the last time anything good came of conflict.
Yeah. But this time around, obviously, it won't be done like that. It's just got to be done peacefully in the right manner. You've got to starve the beast.
We've evolved. People have evolved. People go on about when people mention about the Magna Carta and our Constitution, you get people like, I was on a show a couple of weeks ago, I think it was, talking about the fact that when you register to vote and you vote, you're actually contracting. You're handing over consent, basically.
Yes.
A lot of people don't realise that this is how they bind you in, because legislation and everything is contractual.
Yes.
Although they will still push legislation and stuff on you, no matter what, if it's criminal. Quite often, civil matters, when it comes, you can more often than not win civil matters with the constitutional battles. When it comes to criminal, it's a lot harder. There's the misconception that legislation, acts and statutes cannot be used and are not allowed, sort of thing, when it comes to common law. Now, acts and statutes are actually allowed to be used as long as they conform with the rule of law in our constitution.
They are part of common law.
It's a case of they're called acts and statutes. Well, the acts part of it, it's called acts due to the fact it's the act of the crime that you've committed. That's the reason for the name act. It's not a law, it's the act of the crime that you've committed. It's the wording, and then it's the common law that you're actually prosecuted under. Anyone that says the common law isn't enforced in the United Kingdom needs to go and have a look at what they try people for murder for.
Yes. Well, this is what we're saying when we keep getting called freemen of the land, We're not freemen of the land because we accept that the Constitution has to have action. It has to. For instance, like you can't be allowed to drive 70 mile in a 30 mile an hour speed limit and expect to get away with it. You've got to have some law and order in the Constitution, in common law. You can't all be, no, I don't want to do that because I stand under common law.
It is literally literally the Freemen on the Land movement, although there is a lot of truth in amongst what they're saying.
Yeah.
A lot of it, yes, is written into legislation and law. That's undeniable. It's written there. But what's written and what's practiced are two very different things, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's a case of the police are not trained in common law anymore. They're not trained on the Constitution. Solicitors ain't trained under the Constitution anymore. This past 40 years, I think it is, they've been hiding the Constitution from us.
Yeah.
It's purely because they know that they're in the wrong. That's why they're hiding it.
Exactly. So this is why when we used to have all the arguments with like Bada Bing and etc., and used to call us freemen of the land. And if you only listen to us, we've never ever been freemen of the land. We've never been like that, ever. We stand for the Constitution and common law, yes, but we've always accepted that you've got to have legislation, acts, and some statutes in common law. You've got to.
It's a case of the only reason the acts were ever really put there is it's so that it was easier for people to work out what the act of common law crime was that they were committing.
There was guidelines. There was put there as guidelines to show you what you can really, what's acceptable and what isn't.
For John Manura and them to be going around saying that they want common law, I've noticed they're posting on common law sites. Yeah, they're talking about maritime law, wanting a federal state. What they're wanting is completely opposite to common law.
Yeah, he wants common law with an admiralty flag. Oh, couldn't make it up.
Oh, not only that, I've heard them say that, well, this has come out of Andy's mouth, that he wants martial law, sorry.
Yeah, Andy thinks martial law is a great thing. Well, I don't think being on a curfew and having to be off the street by 8, 9 o'clock at night is a good thing.
Well, it's a case of a lot of people don't quite realise the full extent of martial law is not a nice thing to be living under at all.
No.
You have very little that you can actually do if you're under martial law. It gets to the point where you give them ration packs and stuff like that. Is that bad when it's martial law? You have none of your normal civil liberties. That's all gone under martial law. It's basically you do as you're told or you get locked up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what martial law is.
That's what I'm saying. If you're under martial law and you're in a town where they say, right, everybody in this town, we've decided this is a high-risk town. So from now on, everybody caught out on the street after 6 o'clock, you'll be arrested and put in prison. So you've got to race back and make sure you're in your house at 6 o'clock on that night. It's unbelievable. Martial law is not a good thing at all.
It's absolute madness that they would even be suggesting wanting it. But
it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. You couldn't make it up.
It's like that £1 trillion note that's on everyone's head. When did it skip from $1 million to $1 billion to $1 trillion so quick?
Now it's 60 billion now. Because that £1 trillion with the investment and the interest on the top, it makes it a 60 billion on everybody's head.
It's beyond a joke, Clive. He goes around, it quite literally is a case of he goes around shouting off stuff that he couldn't enforce anyway. It's already clear as day that he can't enforce what he's talking about. You only have to go and look at what happened to him in New Zealand when had a group of people go and remove people from a government building.
Cook Street.
Right. But when he was removed, he was put in prison, and then, from what I gather, he spent some time in a mental institution to do with it. And that is the reason why he isn't still in prison now, is because they saw it as he wasn't in fit state of mind to fully know what he was doing.
Yeah, because he got done for trespass, kidnap, and aggravated assault.
If it wasn't a case of they thought that he wasn't of sound mind, he would definitely be in prison would have been in prison for a lot longer than what punishment was. He's also got a large debt that he's meant to be paying now. For the fines that he accumulated due to it, from what I gather.
And what annoys me is, if they've got all this, what they're saying, okay, he can't come to this country. I get it that John can't do it. But if he's got all the paperwork correct, and like Andy says, it's all true and correct, and everything's true, we don't lie, then he should be giving Andy those paperwork to put in for him. They will not turn him away if he's got the correct paperwork.
He hasn't got the correct paperwork.
No, that's what I'm saying. And this is how, again, it's a fraud. Because if that was me or you and we had all that correct paperwork, we wouldn't be hesitating to go and get it put right. To prove to everybody, look, I am genuine. I am on your side. I have got your interest at heart. You'd be putting that paperwork in faster than you could say Jack Robinson. But no, he keeps delaying it. And he's promising everybody the kids back. And the man, he can't. And all these people are going to be, they're going to be so devastated. And they're attacking us because they're believing everything he says. He said to that Susan Baker again the other night, Ayres asked 3 or 4 times now, I'll get you your kids back as soon as I've done what I've got to do. Well, he's never going to do what he's got to do because it's not going to succeed. So in other words, he's basically telling her, you ain't never going to get your kids back.
I was actually watching a video of his from 8 years ago. I think it was last night. And he was talking about trying to get Cook Street back 8 years ago. So that sort of should show what his chances are of actually obtaining this Cook Street back. Although I can't actually see where it was his to start with. It's just like when he goes on about apparently he was there to see the ships come over when the British invaded his country, apparently, from what he says. But that is well over 100 years ago.
That's 1836. That's 190 years ago.
Yeah, so there's no way possible that he was able to see that happening. And then they go on. He goes on about this here idol thing of his, the Maori statue.
Yeah.
Like the head of it that's in London. He goes on about it as if to say it's his.
That's where he's getting it all from, that, because we've got that statue here. It's that statue from his ancestors that's giving the jurisdiction and the power to take back this country. Well, take back this country. It was never yours in the first place, John.
Yeah. Well, it's a case of he's actually already openly admitted that his country received funding from the monarchy to do with their statue. So it's all null and void, whatever his argument is over the statue. Right? It's all being dealt with.
Yeah. They bought that statue anyway. I know back in the day what they bought it for, yes, I've got to admit, they did rip them off for what they paid for it, in terms of what it meant to them and blah, 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 blah. But they still brought it and they accepted the price, what they bought it for. So it's like you selling a car tomorrow for £200, even though you know it's worth $3,000, and then whinging about it after.
Yeah, it's a case of once the actual transaction is made, and the transaction was made consensually, obviously.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would have been disputed all the way back then.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a case of being left to hundreds of years later, and then you've got some lunatic coming and disputing things. There is no other way of explaining the bloke. He is a lunatic that needs to take his meds.
Yeah, and I'm sure now after this, you're going on his yellow jacket and you will be on the next writ.
Oh, I'm probably already on it, Yellow Jacket, just under someone else's name.
Yeah.
Right, apparently I've been, every one of you so far, I've been called apart. He hasn't called me Dean yet.
No, but the thing is, I'm glad you come on tonight because I use Captain Pugwash sometimes when I go on, and you've used it the last couple of times. They'll all be saying that I'm AJ.
Yeah, it's actually happened a few times when I've been pressing the buttons. He's blaming you, but I'm pressing the laughing face on my phone because he won't answer my thingy to
go live.
So I'm sat there pressing the laughing thing. 9 times out of 10, he's actually saying stuff like, "Oh, they won't come and they won't speak to me," stuff like that. And there I am pressing the bloody button trying to.
Yeah, that's the thing, you see. And it's like Andy. Rick's invited Andy to phone his show that many times now, and he won't do it.
He brought this on himself with me. He full on brought this on himself with me. It's a case of he had months of me being polite and trying to ask him politely, and he just refused to answer any question whatsoever over it. He just expects you to accept what he says and join their shares group is pretty much what they want now.
Yeah. Don't ask any questions, just give us 25 quid. That's basically what it is.
Yeah. And then you got no return on that 25 quid because you paid by donation.
Yeah. Exactly. You couldn't make it up. But the thing is, and the thing we're stupid, and all we do is point these things out. But because we point these things out, with all devils, with all this, with all satanic, with all Freemasons, even though, like I said, they're the ones who are following a Freemason, a well-known master Mason, but they're following him and worshipping him and think they're going to take the country back using his name.
It's quite a common tactic for fraudsters and that to do, actually, is to pass the buck over onto those that are actually questioning it. Yeah. So it makes it look like those that are questioning you are the ones that are attacking you, when really and truly the ones that are questioning 9 times out of 10 are the ones that should have been given the answers.
They're being protective. We're protecting people. We're saying to people, listen, ask these questions. Make sure you get the answers to these questions, because they still haven't given you the answer, and they never will, because he cannot give you the answer, because he's never ever going to have a case number, ever.
No, there'll never be a case number, and he'll never be able to provide proof. He's already admitted it himself that we only know about anything that he's saying because he was told it.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying. So we've only got his word to go off.
It's like when Andy said to me in London, yes, I'll say it again on here. Well done, Andy. You caught me up on the op. I was knackered. I'd had 2 hours sleep in 4 days, and well done, you caught me out. But even back then, and I said to him, the flag is a scam. It's not a scam. Well, why is that then? I can see only one thing, that it's a naval flag, blah, blah, blah. It was given to them, blah, blah, blah. Yes. Well, that's what you would see, because all the evidence has been burnt. Well, that's very good coincidence, isn't it?
What their belief is in the way that their tactic is, what they're trying to do there, they're trying to say that because you can't disprove it, it must be true. That's sort of like me getting a group of friends to come up with a story along the lines of someone owes us money, and we just go and say to them, "Oh, you owe us so much money," because we say it. Would you turn around and pay them that money? No. Would you believe that you owe them? It doesn't equate to a situation where anyone in their right mind could actually say, yeah, that's true. There's no way of proving any of it's true, but there's plenty of reasons to say that it's not true, what he's saying.
Exactly, and he's going on, let's deal with the facts. Let's deal with the facts. That's Andy. Well, you've put no facts forward, Andy. You've not put any facts out that it's been, that all the what. Yes, you've told us all the documents was banned, but where's the facts? Show us, give us proof that there was banned. You're saying that you've got a case. You haven't got a case. Prove you've got a case. It's not for us to prove that you haven't. It's up to us to prove you to prove to us you have got a case with a number. Like I said, anybody can phone Islington Station now. They've got it on record when we went in and we arrested Khan. It's there. It's a proof. It's documented.
Right, but it's a case of there will never be a case number. He hasn't got a case. That's the short and blunt of it. There will never be, because he doesn't have a case.
Yeah.
He's just making up what people want to hear in hope that they'll fund his lifestyle. He's already admitted time and time again that if people don't give him money, he can't travel around, he can't do things if he ain't got the funding from people.
No.
Right. He lied to our customs back along, right, when he was deported. He goes on saying that he's a threat and all that, and the reason he was deported was due to him not having a business visa.
Yeah.
Now, even if he had a business visa, the amount of money that he had with him, he wouldn't have been allowed into the country anyway.
He only had about $200 on him.
Yeah, he didn't have the funds to get into the country. But the reason he was deemed as a threat is due to the threats he had made. If they didn't see him as being a physical threat to the Queen as such, it's the case of he's got past history of making threats towards the Queen, sorry.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, that's much bloody king, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It is literally you couldn't make it up with him. He seems to think that he's done nothing wrong by his threats. The only reason he wasn't arrested is because his threats weren't made on British soil.
No.
If he had made those same threats towards the Queen on British soil, he would have been locked up for it.
Yeah, it's like me now. If I was on here, then I'm going to come and kill the Queen. Everybody come and follow me. Let's kill the Queen. Let's chop her head off. The police would be showing me a visit within an hour, I would imagine.
It literally is a case of Andy gets away with a lot of what he says because he's not in the UK.
Yeah.
Right. It's a case of, with Andy though, he's quicker to take down his videos where he's said stuff that's dodgy. Right. It's just like his call to the MOD back along that had me rolling around in stitches. Right. It's funny, he calls the MOD and he keeps very quiet about the King's flag while he's on the phone to him. Right, because Andy, I think is going through his head as he's saying it, like, well, wait a minute, it's the Queen's Navy. I'm sure he was realising what he was doing while he was on the phone to him. Yeah. Like,
well, the Queen's over them all, isn't she? It doesn't matter whether you're Army, Navy, whatever, they all swear the same oath to the Queen.
So he talked about, when he rang the MOD, he talked about Finchley Road instead of talking about the flag. Well, in actual fact, he's been slagging off Gordon Bowden now for God knows how long. Well, it's a case, the minute you don't agree with something with him, instantly you're being slagged off.
Yeah. It's like now, you watch, I guarantee he's been lovey-dovey and nice now. When he realises that the vets have slammed the door in his face and he ain't going to get the millions following, he might only going to get the odd one or two. You watch him turn nasty again.
He's losing his followers rapidly on a daily basis. It's a case of he's driven me to the point where I've opened up social network accounts on pretty much every social network going. Right, so the Krusty Crew is now on near enough every social network group that you'll come across.
Fair play to you, AJ.
Right, it's literally a case of their recent one, because they're being had on Facebook, now they've decided that they're going to move on to the next social network to go for the next lot of vulnerable people.
Unbelievable. But that's what we've got to do. We've just got to keep putting the truth out. And I'm sure Rick, I don't know whether is Rick still watching. People are asking if you're going live later, Rick. Just give me a thumbs up or whatever if you haven't. I'll tell them. Well, we'll see in the chat anyway.
You're asking to do it at a
Yes. And if you are going live, can you go live at a reasonable hour, not 3 o'clock in the morning?
I don't know what time he was live last night, but it was a case of I passed out, I think, towards the last half an hour or so of it.
Yeah. See, Rick thinks he's in Los Angeles. That's the trouble with Rick. He thinks he's Miami Vice because we're all on our time, and then Rick's like comes on at 3 o'clock in the morning. You think, please, Rick. It's only 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, that's a lie.
He's a nightmare, honest to God.
I've got a dog that's an alarm clock. 6:30 on the dot every bloody morning, wanting a walk.
Yeah.
Right, and it's a case of my dog will drag me out of bed to take her for a walk. Right, she's very stubborn like when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, Rick's in I think he's in Canadian time or something, because it's funny that, but the thing is, yeah, you are a night owl, Rick, you murder. But what time is it now, by the way?
It's literally a case of, with Rick, when he says a certain time, set your alarm clock for a couple of hours later, and that should be about right.
Yeah. If Rick says 10:30, he means 12, 12:30, 1 o'clock. But I tell you what, I'd rather have him on my side than against me. 100% of the time.
It seems that Sean Morris is now full on in amongst the Krusty crew.
Yep.
I've got photographic evidence of him offering to give money to, well, it looks like he's offering. He's asking if Krusty's got a bank account that money can be put into, because his bank account's being shut down or suspended at the moment due to the investigation into him under fraud. That's
the other thing. What people don't realise is, and you're all saying, if they take this and prosecute all these for treason against the Queen, and you've all paid into that, you've all paid into these PayPal accounts, you're leaving a paper trail, and they'll be able to trace who and donated how much and when, and you'll all be complicit. I'm not saying you'll get done for treason, but you'll all could end up in prison with well, not prison, but you could all end up with big fines and put on probation and shit like that, because it's an offence what you're doing.
Well, to be honest, I would say at very least, if it all goes the way it quite possibly could go, at very least that people will be getting questioned over their involvement in it.
Yeah.
And there's a certain few in amongst it that, to be honest, bang to rights for their involvement.
Yeah. And they didn't say, oh, well, I was only watching his, being friendly and watching his live streams and this, that and the other. No, we've seen all the screenshots. You're very, very complicit in it all.
Well, Noah actually said, he was joking about this, well, I say joking, he was laughing about this, like, he said in his feed the other day about most of his funding's actually coming from the UK.
Yeah.
And he was saying, he was also talking about Heathrow in the same subject, in the same conversation, basically, saying that it told them a different story to what's actually going on with the funding, because he had told them at Heathrow when he was deported that most of his money had been coming from other places and very little, next to none, has come from the UK.
Well, like I said, AJ, they ain't stupid. When they get out of all his bank accounts and do the paper trail, they'll know exactly who's give what. And don't forget, if you've just give 25 quid and you've been had over and you've come away, fair enough. But if you're a regular donator and you've donated out, by the time it all comes out, a few thousand or whatever, because you keep giving the 25 quids and the 100 quids, and you're going on his live feeds, yes, John, we're backing you 100%, John. You don't realise all this is being saved. It's all being saved.
It's a case of there are a few of them in amongst it that have handed over quite substantial amounts, in actual fact, to him. Like,
yeah.
The ones that have handed over continuously, it seems that there's a few of them that every so often I'm noticing that they're saying that, well, they're saying that they're giving him money and transferring money to him.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest with you now, AJ.
They get hit the most for it.
They deserve everything they get because they've been told all the facts. They've been told everything that he's doing. They know it's a scam, and they're still willing to back it. So you deserve everything that you get. When you get the knock on your door, and it won't be because we've done anything, because we've been up to it. We could have reported this yonks ago, but we haven't. We just want people to stop people investing in it. They'll get catched up with them when the police are good and ready, because they are monitoring. You can guarantee it.
It literally is a case of if anyone thinks that John Manoa and Andy Devine are nice people, go and watch my videos, the Krusty Crew, on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just type in Krusty Crew, and I'm up to part 9 at the moment that's uploaded. Part 10 should be within the next sort of like 8 or 9 hours. Part 10 should be uploaded. If you can sit there and watch more than 2 of those videos and still say that these people are nice people, then quite frankly, I suggest you go and see a doctor.
Yeah.
But if you want to see the full ins and outs of the case, it's video 8, the full case, well, his supposed case when he goes in to talk about, to take his document into the High Court, which isn't accepted in the High Court. Then it's got part 1, which is the first fake court. I call it a fake court because it's blatantly in a court case.
Well, you can't have the court in Costa Coffee.
Part 2, the second one, is over in Ireland, where they've got the flag over a stone in a graveyard.
Yeah, unbelievable. And that looks satanic to me.
Sorry?
That looks satanic to me. It keeps on saying we're satanic. You never see me in graveyards putting flags over fucking gravestones.
Well, it's flag and flowers and blue flowers and different types of stones. What it actually looked like to me, they were doing a ritual there.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like. So to turn around and say others are satanic and all this, well, they don't see the average normal individuals going around doing weird rituals like what they're doing.
No.
To be honest, I challenge anyone to find a single bit of evidence to say that I've ever done anything like that. You won't find it. And I guarantee that at least 99% of those that are actually going against them, I can't say 100% because I don't know everyone that's fully going against their nonsense, but I'd say at least 99% of those that are actually calling them out on their nonsense are just normal individuals. You've always got to leave a slight percentage for there to be some deranged in amongst it, because there will always be. As much as they might not like my videos, I'd like to see them rebut any of my videos because it's all out of their own mouths.
Yeah.
So it's a case of what I'm actually doing is using their own words and out of their own mouths and showing people exactly what they are doing.
Exactly right. So, I think your work's very good. I mean, anybody who's watching, it's AJ. Subscribe to the channel, the Krusty Crew, and they're funny, but they also, it's telling the truth. Because sometimes humour is the best way to get the truth out, ladies and gentlemen, and that's what AJ is doing. He's doing it in a humorous way, but it's very good.
I would have to say, I'll give slight warning. Don't watch them with a hot drink in your hand.
No.
And if you have a heart condition, probably not the best of videos for you either.
No.
Right, because some of the videos are quite shocking.
Yes.
And I'm very much one for putting dramatic stuff into videos, like to make it more watchable. Because quite frankly, if you were to try and watch one of their 4-hour feeds, you'll be asleep about 10 minutes into it.
Yeah. And
how I manage to watch so much of their stuff, I do not know. Right? It's stress is the reason I'm watching so much. That I'm able to watch so much of their stuff. I'm stressed at what they're doing to other people.
yeah,
And I know a lot of other people don't have the time to watch.
like I say, I never watch their videos, mate. I don't get the time. Like I said, I work 10 hours a day. So what I do, I catch up with them because people send me messages in Messenger, and that some different people tell me different bits of what, oh, they've said this about it in the video, have you watched it? And that's how I pick up on, not everything, but know roughly what they've been saying.
It's literally a case of if it wasn't for the fact of them conning people and going after press, well, it's not so much the conning people, it's more so that if people want to be stupid enough to give money to idiots like they're clearly robbing them blind, that's their own problem. But when it's conning vulnerable people, preying on those that are weak or those that minds they're angry towards the system, and at the moment with what our government's doing, the vets and that, it wouldn't take too much to convince some of them to turn against like the establishment and follow the path of what Winoa and them are doing. It wouldn't take that much for people to fall for it. No. They're relying on putting stuff into what they're saying. They're mixing truth with lies, quite frankly. They're distorting truth to make it so that they can benefit from it. Right? If they were to stick to facts, right, I wouldn't have a problem with it at all. Right? But stick to the facts and stop chasing vulnerable people. It's a case of they'll never do that because their whole intention is to get as much money out of people as they can so that they can continue the lifestyle that they've become accustomed to. Flying around the world, funding Winoa's partner in the Philippines, and it's a case of I'd be concerned on where your money's actually really going to.
Yes, so would I. It does my head in now, mate, to think that, you know, and like I said to you, the minute anybody questions them, this is what I don't like, the minute anybody questions them, it's like the SS thugs, come on, yeah, right, you're going to get there's a writ of execution on you, you've been served with this, you've been served with that, you're going to get the death penalty, you're going to be hung from a lamppost, you're going to be this. And then the next breath, Andy's saying his life's been threatened, and yet nobody said anything about him. To what I know, I've never heard anybody threaten him with his life.
I haven't come across anyone threaten any of them, to be honest with you. There's been no threats that I've seen towards them. What there has been is plenty of threats from them towards everyone else.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do as you're told by them, or they want to shoot you, or hang you, or
yes, exactly. They don't want you putting the truth out. As long as you stay a good little boy and you don't tell the truth, then that's all right. It doesn't make any difference, eh?
It's literally a case of Winoa's been doing this for 20 odd years. It will be getting on.
Yeah.
But he's been repeating the same thing but changing the story slightly for 20 odd years, and he's moved from country to country that he's been doing it in. And he's got no intention of stopping whatsoever. What he'll do is once he's ran out of places to milk in this country, he'll move on to the next country. And to be honest with you, it looks like he's coming very close to moving on to the next country already.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, you've gone from just being wrong uns the same as them to now, like I said, the Muslims cutting your heads off, they want to hang you from lampposts, they've got writ of executions on you, they've got John Patterson's going to come after you with his wood chipper, you know what I mean? And it's just unbelievable the things that they say. Then And yet everybody then attacks us because we have a go at them for them being scammers. Yet they can threaten to take your life in some of the most gruesomest ways possible. And they're all top-rated, top-notch guys, you know what I mean? Unbelievable.
It's completely opposite to what they say. What they say about everyone else is pretty much what they're doing themselves.
Exactly.
Quite literally. It's a case of they're pointing the finger in the opposite direction when it's them doing it.
Yeah.
Right. It's a case of, in some respects, Andy is the only reason that John's still going on in this country, and it's because Andy's financially tied into it. He stands to lose from it all. Right. He's been handing out money left, right, and centre to him, Andy has been. I don't know if he's doing it so much anymore. I'm thinking he's coming close to the end of what funding he had.
And that's why he's so angry, because he's never going to get that money back, is he now?
You could see in his face, it's literally if you watch that video where he's saying to John about paying the individual that wanted to pay in instalments, you could see that the penny had dropped on that day. If you watch his facial expressions on the way that John reacted, you can see the penny dropped within that day. Right? So since that day, he's had no way of being able to really deny that he's known what's going on.
Yeah. Because like you said, if you're genuine and decent, what does it matter whether somebody pays you £25 over 3 weeks, like that woman wanted to, or whether they pay it all at once?
If it was a genuine thing, you would be wanting to help them.
Yeah.
Like you would. Also, if what he was on about, he was genuine about it, and it was truthful, then you'd be going out of your way to show people. You wouldn't be carrying on like they are.
Yeah.
Like the first thing he would, if it was genuine, the first thing he should have done was pull out the documentation and show it straight off. Like if he really had this documentation that he said, and it was genuine documentation, he would have put it up in front of everyone a long time ago.
Of course he would, and he'd have also saved it and everything by now. You ain't going to hang on to something that important when you want to take over the country if you've got all the documents and everything. That's it, that's done. It's job done, you just go and do it.
Yeah, well, if the thing is as well, if this flag had any power, he wouldn't have been stopped coming through customs.
Of course he wouldn't. He would have been
let him straight through. Right.
And you would have been able to take the flag off that gravestone. They'd have gone, you leave that flag where it is, that flag's powerful. And they would have all never bear this all-powerful flag.
Yeah. It is literally a case of if his story about the Queen's using that flag and all that, like if his story about the Queen using it is apparently using the flag, the power, then obviously if the Queen's apparently using it, then the government would know about it, the police force would know about it, and they would know to stay well clear of it if they were told to stay clear of it. But clearly, they know what the flag really is, which is a maritime flag that was purposely given for protection use on ships, nothing more. It's a trade on ships so that they could ensure the safe passage of their goods while they're transporting them on the ships. That's all it was.
Yeah, and that's all it ever will be, mate. You can't turn into something it's not. It's impossible, unfortunately. Otherwise, we'd all be doing it. We'd all be turning into L's and what have you to get money off the government, and if we could do it, and dukes and duchesses, and it just doesn't work. You either are one or you're not one. Simple as.
I don't really get his idea of buttering up to the Irish at the moment, because there's history of slagging off the Irish, the white Irish particularly. And I've got comments of it that he's been flagging off white Irish people.
And the Scotsman, Kerry rips out of the Scotsman. You've got Mac Kenny follows him blindly, as if like, I just don't get Mac at all.
It's pretty much if you look at it, throughout the years, you could probably find that he's flagged off every nation going. Like back in 2001, I think it was, he was talking about going to speak to the Russians. He's now talking about BRICS, he's calling it, which is Russia, China, and a few others. Because he's not got his way, he's saying he's going to go and take his documentation to them that he's apparently got.
Well, my wife's never heard of this flag, and them Russians, when he keeps on the Russians know all about it, my wife's never heard of it.
Well, to be honest with you, I would say that it'll backfire on him going to the Russians. Like, I wouldn't want to be messing around with the Russians like what he's done over here.
Or the Chinese. I wouldn't like to go and tell the Chinese that you're going to take over their land.
Well, he's saying he's in business with the Chinese. Yeah, I've recently had messages from some Chinese people that was in contact with him a long time ago on Twitter. They're all saying he's an idiot.
Yeah. Well, they're not far wrong, are they, really? Because, you know, like I said to him the other day on that live feed, just give it up, John. It's not going to happen. You're not going to fool enough people. You'll fool a few vulnerable people and desperate people, but people who are full compass meant to disappear, you're not going to ever convince them that your flag's real and that you've got a viable business. Ever.
It's a case of, I honestly think the way he's going on, he'll still be doing the same thing till the day he dies. Quite literally. He'll be whinging about this in Cook Street until he dies.
Yeah.
Right.
It's unbelievable, mate.
Cook Street is pretty much a car park, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Right, so
well, he can't go back to Cook Street. If he steps anywhere near Cook Street, he'll be arrested. If they see him.
How he thinks he's going to take Cook Street back, but was it ever his to start with? Because I haven't seen any evidence to say that it was his to start with, other than, well, in evidence to say it was his. But it's just him saying it's his, and he has the right to take it back.
It's like he's saying now with us, because my statues, my ancestors' statues on your lands, it gives me the jurisdiction and the power to become your king. Says him.
Well, his titles, if you look, 6 years ago, he was stood on a beach talking about sea titles. The land underneath the water is what he was talking about back then. So now he switched from land underneath water to apparently he's got land titles, which he clearly doesn't have. His original thing when he was talking about sea stuff would have been closer to what he's talking about with the flag, because the flag's a maritime flag, so it would have been closest to the story with that.
He's got more titles than Netflix has, John.
Yeah, well, it's a case of he believes that he's got that many trades that I don't think it's possible for anyone to have as many trades as what he's saying he has.
The problem you've got is, they keep saying the problem you've got is we'll never go away, and we won't. That is true. But the problem that we've got with them is that John genuinely believes what he's saying.
Yeah, well,
that is the problem.
It's a case of, if you tell yourself a lie too many times, you'll end up believing it. And that's exactly what's happened with him. He's lied for that long, made up stories that now he believes his own nonsense.
What was that bloke now? Hans Christian Andersen? Well, I knew he used to be like that. Was it Hans Christian Andersen or Walter Mitty or something like that? That's what it's becoming like. It's like he actually believes what he's saying is true. That's the problem. And you can't convince him, John. Look at what you're saying, mate. It can't be viable.
None of it with him. Well, none of it makes much sense at all, like, really. Other than the only sense that anyone can really pull from any of it is it's all a ploy to make money. That's the only thing behind any of it that actually makes any sense. Right?
No, it don't make sense to me.
Him talking about wanting to cut down all the pine trees and putting cannabis.
Yeah.
Now, is that why he's been speaking? Why he's put to a narcotics officer to talk to? Could it be that?
I just don't get it, AJ. I really don't. But I know one thing: people have got to stop falling for the bull. Otherwise, you're going to end up losing a lot of money, ladies and gentlemen. If you've got, like somebody says there's apparently a bank account with 500 a month that's been frozen, 500 a month coming out of it. You people who are donating this 500 a month.
That's ridiculous.
And that's just one account. You know, you must want your heads looking, that's all I can say. And like I said, how the hell you can have a go at us when we're doing it for free? We don't charge you nothing for anything we do. And we've been saying stuff that these are saying now. All they're doing is repeating stuff that we've done 2 or 3 years ago. Lisbon Treaty, 14, 15 months ago, I was doing probably longer.
The Lisbon Treaty, I've actually had the PDF of the Lisbon Treaty since, I think it was early 2009.
No, I'm saying, but I mean...
No, is it the Lisbon Treaty? 1 second, I can tell you when, because it was the same week as it was actually put out that I actually downloaded it.
Yeah.
Right, it's like, they talk about, when Kaylee brings up the SKV Act.
Yeah.
I'd love to know how she gets to the flag nonsense from the SKV Act.
Because she can't.
It's completely not a madness to think that...
The flag didn't even exist until 1836. It didn't exist at all.
It's crazy to think that it could be... Wait a minute, where's that one? That's the Constitution. I've got that much paperwork scattered around this living room. It's ridiculous. Oh, sorry. 2007.
Yeah.
Was when I downloaded the Lisbon Treaty. So, it's a case of the Lisbon Treaty has been talked about by a lot of people for a long time. It's not something that anyone that's been looking into the truth and what the government are doing, anyone really that's along the constitutional line would really be aware of the Lisbon Treaty.
Well, we've been talking about it for a good 2 years, right? But what I'm saying is we've known about it a hell of a lot longer. But the trouble is with certain things, you have to time it right to put it in the public domain. Otherwise, it blows the people's minds. Even though we've knew about it a lot longer, we've had to wait till enough people was awake to tell them.
To be honest with you, I honestly still to this day believe that a lot of people won't be able to believe half the stuff that's in the likes of the Lisbon Treaty, the Marrakesh Treaty. Quite a recent one is the UN Migration Pact.
Yeah. And don't forget as well, AJ, a lot of these, they're intertwined and it's done deliberately. To find out what's really going on, you have to read them all.
Yeah, well, you need to start right away from the beginning. You want to read all the treaties that make up the European Union.
Yeah, because the certain bits in the Lisbon Treaty and the Barcelona Declaration that when you read them, one kicks into the other one. And it's all interlinked, and it's like that in every treaty. That's why they've done it that way, so it's hidden.
Anyone that wants the actual full treaties that make up the European Union, I have a Facebook group called Corruption in the UK Legal System. Corruption in the Legal System UK is on Facebook, and the PDF is in that group.
Yeah.
Along with many other PDFs.
That's what I say, we've been doing this a hell of a long time. People, the way these are talking, like we've just come on the scene now, we've been on the scene a lot longer than these people. Them have come on the scene and telling people that we're wrong uns and we're this, that, and the other. We've always worked for the last 3 or 4 years for free. And we've never charged a penny for our services, and we've always tried to keep the people and guide them in the correct manner. We've never asked for a penny. And these people are coming along, they're spouting the stuff we've already put out, and they're charging you £25 for the privilege.
It's a case of if you look at that group I just mentioned on Facebook, you can see that I've actually been commenting about stuff like this since 2013.
Yeah.
Because it was 2013 that I opened that group up.
Yeah.
I actually forgot that I had opened that group for quite some time. So it was about a week ago that I realised that I had that group opened on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I went through it, cleaned it up a bit, and banged in a load of the PDFs that I've got lying around on my computer, because it's a case of these PDFs, they should all be free and open for anyone to be able to see. It's a case of the government. If you go to the government and ask them for the Lisbon Treaty, they will charge you £23.15 for the Lisbon Treaty. And now I don't believe that they have any right to charge for information that should be public knowledge.
No, exactly.
Right, it's a case of this all. Technically, you can get it for free. You just need to be on DuckDuckGo for your internet access, and then go into DirectGov through DuckDuckGo, because the likes of Google and that block access a lot of stuff on when it comes to looking up legislation and that on the internet. The most recent stuff's easy to find via Google, but anything older or that they don't really want you to see, they'll block you if you go in through Google.
Yeah. I mean, Emma's just hit the nail on the head. They come and go like thin air, out of thin air, and they disappear as quick as they've come. And that's exactly what happens. They come, do the scamming they've got to do, and then they leave us right with the People's Revolutionary Party when we expose them. People have donated to them and everything, and we had to pick up the pieces to all that. It's wrong.
These people, what they're doing is that they're mixing stuff that everyone else has already been putting out for a long time for free, and then they're mixing it, making it incorrect, and then wanting to charge for it.
Yeah.
You couldn't make it up really. Some of the documents I've seen over the past month or so that people have been putting out trying to sell.
Like Rich just said, this goes much deeper than the scam. I think it's ain't just about, it's about dividing. It's about dividing and everything. This is.
It's far deeper than just the scam.
Yeah.
I would believe that there's an underlying agenda behind what's going on.
Yeah.
With them. And to be honest with you, if you look at it, half of them are actually lefties.
Yeah.
Like the Umbrella Girl, she's a lefty. Blatant, clear as day, she's a lefty. She's a Corbynite.
Yeah.
You only have to look at her on Facebook, and you'll see pictures of her supporting Corbyn agenda.
You've only got to look how triggered they got on Rick's. What's it, because he called him King Krusty?
Yeah, well, should have more of a fit if she heard what I normally call him, because it's Snowflake's non-King Krusty.
Yeah. Unbelievable. So I'm thinking it's like me and Rick's had this opinion for months now. This is more than just about the money and the scam. This is about dividing the people.
Yeah. Well,
and taking them down and splitting the country in half. It's been done deliberate.
It does seem like that's the agenda, to be honest with you. There's proof that a lot of these people are actually being paid to do what they're doing.
Yeah, but we're the paid agents, not them. No, you can't say that, AJ. I'm only joking.
If you want proof of that they're being paid for this, watch the court case 1. If that doesn't tell you that they're being paid, I don't know what will, because he clearly says clear as day, it's a part-time job to start with, and he hopes to extend it into a full-time job.
Yeah.
Right, so any job, you don't just do a job for now, but you get paid for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is like what I think. What I'm starting to see is that there's a lot more underlying than what people really see on the surface. When you dig underneath it, you'll find that 99% of them are serious issues with the sort of people that they are and their backgrounds.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest with you, a lot of them are completely and utterly stupid because I've got their home addresses, their telephone numbers, their date of birth, the schools they went to, you name it in the way of information, I've got it. And they put it out themselves.
Yeah.
Right the way down to the registration plate of Krusty's car. That's how much they're pretty much completely and utterly doxed themselves. And then he was filling in a form the other day, Krusty was, sat in his car filling in this form because of his bank accounts being suspended due to them looking into them. And they're wanting all of his income and expenditure. I'm guessing it's either the police or the government. Someone, anyway, was asking him for all his information and that. And he's there doing it right on camera, writing it all on a piece of paper. And apparently he's talking about his pension as being, that he wants to claim his pension as being a business. Yeah.
Hi, Jay. Somebody just asked, can you explain a bit about where they said he was part-time again?
Part-time?
Yeah, when he was...
That there is on the first Costa Court, which they did in the park down in London. That was on the 28th. Right, March the 28th, I think it was that was done. If you want to hear it being said, it should be in part 8 of the Krusty Crew on YouTube. If it's not, someone leave a comment on there and I'll make sure that I upload it in a video. Like, so if it's not there, I will upload it because I have it recorded. I record everything that they put on.
Yeah. Sounds sweet. And Rick's right. If you look at it, ain't about the money, I don't think, because you've only got to look, like he said, with the vets. They are now trying to drive a wedge between 4.85 million vets. Instead of leaving it and letting Simon that speak for the vets and leaving it at that, they're trying to drive a wedge now by trying to say, fuck these two, don't listen to these two, you've got to mind your own, which they have, fair enough. But usually when you've got somebody who's like an MBE, like Simon, who's trusted and he's done the research, don't forget, we didn't give him information and put words in his mouth. We just told him where to go and look, i.e. all their videos. And all the words and that's come out of their mouths are the words that he's took in himself and he's unscrambled it all in how he understands it, and he's come up with that. It's a scam himself.
Yeah, well, it's a case of I have noticed since I've started putting my videos up, they've started taking theirs down.
Yeah.
But they're too late for that one because I record them 9 times out of 10. I record them while they're live. So it's a case of they're a bit stuffed because the end of their live feed, I've already recorded it.
Yeah. You know, so we'll carry on forever like this. They'll put their thing out, and we'll keep putting our thing out, and people will believe what they want to believe. But we, unlike them, if people believe them, we won't be threatening to go and hang them from lampposts and send somebody around with a wood chipper, etc., etc.
For as long as what they're doing, for as long as they continue with what they're doing, there'll continue to be Krusty Crew videos being put up.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a case of it's their choice. How far do they want to take it? How demoralised do they want to be? Because what I've already put in the videos is far from the full extent of what I've got.
Oh, know that.
Right, and at the moment, I'm pretty much putting up stuff that's in this past few days sort of thing, but I've got stuff from the past that they've taken down that contradicts quite a lot of what they've been saying recently. I've got stuff where they're slagging off the military a lot. Like, I've got comments of them trying to con the military. I've got, well, you name it pretty much. Anything that they've said that others are doing towards them, I've got them doing themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, I suppose we better end it now, AJ, because we don't want to be classed as Andy Devine. We've been on 2 hours.
Well, it's a case of, I know Krusty's live at the moment.
Yeah.
Is it stopped? I'm not sure. I know I've been recording him for the past.
Yeah. So
it's a case of, I've got it set up perfect because my computer automatically records them the minute they go live.
So that's what you want.
I don't have to touch anything anymore.
Yeah. Brilliant.
I got to the point where I got sick and tired of having to watch the notifications every time because I get notifications every time they come live. Right. And they've caused it themselves. They've made me have to do what they've done because they've got so many accounts and they block everyone. I've started up opening up other accounts.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like I said, this will be up here. All my other videos here, Rick's videos are always left up. All the comments are always left up. We don't delete anything. We're proper transparent.
And what'll annoy them even more is the fact that I'm actually on most of their friends list. So they can go digging if they like, but they're going to struggle to find which one it is.
Yeah. Well, I'm lucky like I ain't on any of the friends list as far as I know. And that's how I like it.
The account that I use most of the time is on none of them, but I've got an account which is set up in a name that no one actually knows, and it's in amongst near enough all of their friends lists.
Mm-hmm.
It's because they've been doing the same to us.
Yeah.
Anyone and everyone that's going against them in any way, shape or form, they're sending people in to look at people's accounts. Right, so it's a case of they can have a bit of their own medicine.
Yeah, don't surprise me, Victor.
It's surprising what they'll say when they think no one else is watching them.
Yeah. Apparently I'm already on JW now, but you might get a mention now you're on here with me.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm surprised I wasn't put on his yellow vest back in January.
Yeah.
Right, it's literally a case of this is where Winoa came back into my view because I wouldn't really have been watching anything or knowing anything about it. Like, I've watched a lot of his stuff years ago and knew years ago that he was a con man. Like, so the minute I saw him flash up with Tracy and then in amongst the yellow vests, like, then it was sort of like straight away I knew that there was problems.
Really? Says here I'm on his friends list. Well, that's coming off there. I don't want to be on his friends list. I thought I deleted all the fuckers. I did.
You do actually have an account where you're on John Winoa's friends list.
I'm just looking at it now.
Yeah.
I won't be in 30 seconds time.
There's actually a few people that I know that are actually in amongst John Winoa's friends list. But to be honest with you, half of these people have got that many people on their friends list, they probably don't know who's in amongst their friends lists.
Not anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Not anymore. I don't want to be on the friends list, to be honest.
I'm only on it purely for the fact it gives me the notifications and then I get the information on them. It's a simple way of, I've got an account that's a simple way of basically making sure that I can keep track on them.
Yeah. You write this up.
It's purely more so for content now.
Yeah.
Because it's a case of, I get to keep track on them, and at the same time, they're giving me more content of where they're doing things that people really to do with seeing. Like, it is literally a case of, I've noticed that they are starting to change their comments. When they comment on things, almost instantly afterwards, they edit the comment. Like, so it comes across as if they said something else to what they've actually said. Yeah. I've got people offering money to them, and then next minute that comment's changed to something else.
Yeah, well, exactly. But we look forward to number 10 coming out. I think I'm going to go off now because I've been on over 2 hours and I don't like doing really, really long videos. But it's been great to have you on, AJ. Hopefully.
All I'm going to say about number 10 is that someone doesn't like copyright.
Yeah. And hopefully Rick's going to be doing live in a minute. Well, in a minute. Rick's in a minute is any time in the next 3 hours. But hopefully Rick will go live and carry it on. Of course, we've got to keep on at these now. Right now, them on live again at the moment. So
there's someone on the feed at the moment that seems to have almost as bad a problem as me. She's got, I'm assuming that it's a she because it's a woman, 17,000 screenshots.
Fair play.
I admit that data-wise, I've got a ridiculous amount because it's getting towards 180 gigabytes now. Like a data on them. But screenshots, I ain't got anywhere near that amount.
No. Fair play to that if he's got that many.
But then I've probably got most of the information that they've got in screenshots in actual recordings.
Yeah. Sound. So I'll let you go, AJ. I'll speak to you later. I'm going to end it now because I'm going to get off to let Rick have a go.
Yeah, I better make Chloe her tea. Otherwise she's going to be going mental at me.
But it's great to talk to you and everybody listening and everybody spread the word, AJ, on YouTube, the Krusty Crew.
The easiest way to find it is type in Krusty Crew.
Yeah, Krusty Crew. Subscribe.
It'll come up with videos. Like, and the account is AJL.
AJL, yeah. So there you go. Cheers, AJ, and I'll speak to you soon, brother. Hopefully I'll catch you on Rick's live later when he goes live.
Right.
Because I'm gonna ring him in.
Videos coming out.
Yeah, and look out for.
I've got at least three lined up for this next few days.
Yeah, so look out for number 10, everybody.
10 should be done
Yeah.
today.
Okay. And Rick, you are going to go live. I'm going to ring you in a minute when I come off here. And see if I can get you to go live. So sound an AJ, and I'll speak to you later, brother.
3,000 sounds more like it.
Yeah. And keep up the good work, brother. You're doing really well.
You too, mate. You have a good evening.
Yeah, and you, AJ. I'll speak to you later.
All right, speak to you later.
Bye. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That was AJ. Cracking bloke. He does some fantastic videos on YouTube. But as I said, I'm going to leave it now because I'm going to leave Rick to see if he wants to come and do a bit of a live with a bit, as he always does, because Rick always does good lives as well. And I'm going to leave you, as always, with this. Keep your eyes open for the pirates, ladies and gentlemen. Don't give them any money. They'll come on your live feeds begging for money for King John to fund his lifestyle. Big no-no, ladies and gentlemen. Don't do it. Like with drugs, just say no. Stay safe, have a great weekend. Rick, hopefully going to be on live soon. Here's my hand, here's my heart. Love every single one of you. And like I said, keep them peeled for pirates. Stay safe. Have a great weekend. And I will speak to you all very, very soon, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great weekend. Speak to you all soon.